And welcome back, Hornets. Here we are again for our next part of our Ready Workbook Lesson 9, parts 2 through 3. Before we get started on part 2 and 3, I want to use this opportunity to go back over what we did yesterday with analyzing word meanings part 1, where we got a lot of information about technical, connotative, and figurative word meanings for that diagram, and then you got to read the excerpt from The Shining, a fiction story. Yes, also yesterday that talked about and you had 3 different characters in that story that each one of them had a different, either a technical meaning behind their words, a figurative meaning behind their words, or a connotative meaning behind their words. And this time we're going to look at a fable. And remember, a fable is it's not a fairy tale and it's not a myth. It's just a story that was used, and it's usually using animals to and they're personified to portray a moral that we normally want in most cultures. It's got those universal themes that we were talking about that are pretty much everywhere. So, because I know it's a fable, I'm going to take this opportunity, and I don't have the right tools, so bear with me, guys. I'm going to circle the fact that it's a fable, which lets me know that this is fake. Just keep that in mind. It is not real. So it's going to have a purpose, hopefully to entertain, just to let you know. And typically a fable's audience is usually children, because you're trying to teach them a certain moral for the culture that the story represents. Also, it does tell us that we're looking at analyzing word meanings, and that goes back into knowing if it's technical, if it's connotative, or if it is figurative. And when it comes to that, and then also what our tone's going to be: positive, negative, and neutral. And the first thing we do when we're reading a new story is we always box the title, the bedbug, and the mosquito. Well, automatically, this should set off some warning bells for you when we look at a tone of our title. Most people don't like bedbugs, so that's got a little bit of a negative tone. And most people don't like mosquitoes. It's got a little bit of a negative tone. So this fable is already kind of starting off a little bit weird, since nobody likes those things. And then we want to make sure we number our paragraphs. And I'm just going to go ahead and number the ones that we see right now, and that is 1, 2, and 3. And as you're going through this, you need to make sure you go through and number all of them. And we're going to run, and we'll see if it'll come where I need it to. And then we're going to add 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then now I got to roll down some more. Finish this page. We're going to go to the next page. And it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then finally we end up with 22 paragraphs. Okay. Now I'm going to roll back to where we left off. And we're going to read our fable. Now, keep in mind, one of the things you're looking for as you read this fable is the word choice the author is using, because by the end, you want to see if you still have that negative feeling about a bed bug, or if you still have a negative feeling about the mosquito. Okay? So, ready? Let's go. A long, long time ago, there lived a bed bug. He had a huge family. There were grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. They all lived together in a beautiful bed. They've lived in the corners and crevices of the bed, and the huge, beautiful bed belonged to the king of the country. When the king slept, the bug and his entire family used to crawl out of their home. They would wait for the king to drift off to deep sleep and then feast on the king's blood. The king's blood was sweet, as sweet can be, and they relished their meal. One day, a mosquito came into the room. He saw the lovely bedspread and the soft plush mattress. He sat on the mattress and thought aloud, "What a soft bed, and how comfortable." The bug heard the mosquito's voice and came out to check the intruder. Who are you and where have you come from? The bug asked with a tone of authority. This is the king's bed and I live here. You are not allowed to trespass. You can leave now, the bed bug said with an air of finality. Is this the way you treat your visitors? The mosquito asked. I'm a traveler. I have traveled far and wide and tasted different kinds of blood, but I haven't had the fortune of tasting a king's blood. I've heard that it tastes like honey. Would you be kind enough to allow this visitor one sip of the king's blood? Implored the mosquito. No, definitely not. Definitely no, thundered the bug. Why not? Asked the mosquito. The bedbug said, if you bite the king, it will hurt him. As a result, he will wake up and investigate as to what bit him and kill all of us. However, the mosquito did not want to leave without accomplishing his mission. He begged with folded hands, take pity on me. Let me stay here for one single night. I promise you that I shall be out of this place in the morning. All I need is one sip of the king's blood. The bug finally relented. It is true, the king's blood is very tasty, the bug said, but I shall allow you only to stay for one night. The mosquito was thrilled. However, the bug warned the mosquito, please exercise caution. Do not come out during the wrong time to bite the king, and do not bite in the wrong places. Pray, please tell me about the right time and the right places to bite, the mosquito pleaded. The bug replied softly, after consuming liquor, the king will have his dinner. After dinner, the king will come to sleep. The right time to bite is when he slips into deep slumber. And what's the right spot to bite? Questioned the mosquito. The legs, the bug said. When he is fast asleep, he won't feel the bite. The mosquito agreed to abide by the rules, and the bug crept back down to his cozy home. The mosquito kept waiting for the king. He waited anxiously. Finally, the king came and lay down on the bed. The mosquito was excited. He thought about the blood that tasted like honey and soon forgot about the bug's warnings. The mosquito couldn't control his temptations anymore. He went ahead and bit the king on the neck before the king could drift off to deep sleep. The king felt the bite and jumped off the bed, angry that his sleep had been disturbed. He hollered for his servant, something has bitten me. Look for it and kill it. Turn the bed upside down and find the creature. Meanwhile, the mosquito, after tasting the blood, had already flown away. The servants upturned the mattress, looked all over. The servants found the bug and his family. They killed each one of them. Not even a single bug managed to escape. And that, kiddos, is the moral of the story is going to be, do not offer up trust lightly or accept the word of a stranger. So, remember, the moral is the overall idea, that the theme kind of that you're trying to get from this entire thing, and that's not to offer up trust lightly or just accept the word of a stranger. So, your questions, and this also, by the way, this is a citation letting you know where I got the fable from. So here's where you're going to put your purpose. On your worksheet that you've got in front of you, you're going to make sure you write your purpose and your audience and your central idea. Remember, central idea is what it was mainly about. Your text structure from this fable, which is fiction fake. A theme, which is really similar to the moral. Like, what does because our main character is the bedbug. What does he learn? And your tone for this. Okay, so question 1 says, as the reader, explain how you feel about the bedbug and his family. So how do you feel? Take away the fact that most people think bedbugs are a little on the icky side. How is it portrayed in the story? How does the bedbug and his family's tragedy and the trust that they have in the mosquito is going to do what they want, and then the tragedy that happens at the end to them, take into consideration what happens to that. So explain as the reader how they make you feel. And then the mosquito. As the reader, explain how you feel about the mosquito. So that's what you're doing for number 1. Number 2, you're looking at which words and phrases helped you figure out the tone that it applies to the bedbugs. So you want to look at, you're trying to give me evidence from the text to support what you just said in number 1. When you're telling me how you feel, whether it's positive, negative, and neutral, you're going to have to give me some phrases in number 2 to prove it. And number 3 is going to ask, how does the author's word choice affect the overall tone of the account? So you're going to go back and look and see what his overall tone is. Is his overall tone positive, negative, or neutral? Well, I know that title kind of has a very negative tone, and if that's how you're leaning, you might want to make sure that you can give me evidence from the text to explain why the tone is negative and how it's negative. If you think it's positive, you might want to make sure you can find evidence overall for the entire text that proves it being positive, right? So, and if it helps, think about and find all the stuff with that connotative meaning, because that connotative stuff helps us really figure out how something makes us feel. I hope that when you get done with this, you're going to turn it in. So I hope this video has helped y'all understand what I'm asking of y'all. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email, and good luck. And one last thing, once you finish doing this, you're going to go on to the next video, which is going to start going over in your Ready workbook, analyzing word meanings, part 2, and they believe it is on page 88. And once you finish that, you are free to work on your archery contest report from the Wanderings of Odysseus. Oh, and making sure you have your iReady minutes too, because you need 47 by Friday. All right, guys. Bye.